Number 18. You Won't Be Alone. The film follows Navina, a wild, abandoned young witch who stumbles across an isolated village in 19th century Macedonia. Curious about the people she sees there, she wants to live among humans, but not as a witch with her apparent claws and ageless body. Witches can shapeshift using horrific ways, such as putting the intestines of dead objects into their own bodies, according to the folkloric tradition from which the film is based. So when Navina accidentally kills a villager, she seizes the chance to assume her identity and begin the first of many human lives. Number 17. Speak No Evil. Speak No Evil is a 2022 horror-drama thriller film directed by Christian Taftrup and written by Christian and Mads Taftrup. It's about a Danish family visiting a Dutch family they met on a trip to Italy. However, as the Danes strive to remain polite in the face of increasing tension and intimidation, what was intended to be a relaxing weekend begins to unravel. It is, after all, a travel horror flick, so everything appears to be great at first, but then it all goes downhill in the most horrific way imaginable. With a twisted, satisfying ending, the film fully commits to the bit. Moral: never spend your vacays with strangers. Number 16. Emily the Criminal. Emily the Criminal is a thriller that is consistently pushed into darker, more intriguing regions by Aubrey Plaza's electric performance. It tells the story of a woman trapped in a dead-end catering job drawn into the shadowy underworld of credit card fraud and other illegal activities. A life of crime is her only way out of debt if she can make it out alive. Although the backdrop is America, the theme is universal. The rise of wage slavery, and in particular the glass ceiling that exists for low-income individuals, particularly women. Number 15. Palm Trees and Power Lines. Even though Jamie Dack's drama about a California youngster doesn't portray itself as a horror picture, Palm Trees and Power Lines may be mistaken for one if you squint hard enough. Palm Trees and Power Lines is a disturbing and shockingly realistic film about a youngster groomed and then sexually trafficked by a guy twice her age. The fact that we can see what's happening to Lee while she can't is what makes this movie so upsetting. Number 14. Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. If you thought the sex worker with a heart of gold genre had run its course, filmmaker Sophia Hyde's latest film would astound you. A heartfelt comedy about a 60-year-old widow who hires a sex worker is the subject of this film. They meet at a hotel and gradually disclose themselves to one another, forming a friendship with far-reaching consequences for each of them. Finally, as the sessions come to an end, Leo and Nancy reach an apex in their relationship. It offers some intriguing insights into what individuals need and desire from one another in life, and it's not just about sex. Number 13. Duel. Riley Stearns, whose odd films, Faults and the Art of Self-Defense, have earned him some adoration from a certain sect of weirdos, is back with his third, Duel. What appears to be a two-hander starring Karen Gillan and Aaron Paul is actually a three-hander, as Gillan's dying character assists in training her cloned replacement. Duel seems like a tonal match made in a lab for Stearns and his actors, sounding like a cross between Black Mirror, Westworld, and the work of Dostoevsky's. And you just know there'll be some weird murder doppelganger stuff going on. Number 12. Cha-Cha Real Smooth. Is Cooper Raiff going to be the next big romantic comedy director? Raiff plays a nameless post-grad with just enough awkward charm to book gigs as an unusual bar mitzvah party starter. He meets a perceptive mother, Dakota Johnson, and her oft-bullied autistic daughter at one of these events. They strike up a playful connection that sets him on the path to adulthood. You'll believe you know where the film is headed, but you'll be mostly incorrect. Cha-Cha Real Smooth, which derives its name from the famous DJ Casper line dance, defies stereotypes by insisting that no attribute or experience defines a person. Number 11. The Cathedral. The Cathedral, an often heartbreaking family drama portrayed via wonderfully crafted snapshots of human behavior, has a shot. Many situations occur at weddings, funerals, and birthday celebrations, including money disputes and complaints about perceived slights. Ricky D'Ambrose has crafted a compassionate film that feels like it was constructed from the crumbs of memory, drawing inspiration from his own youth and adolescence. Number 10. After Yang. After Yang tells the tale of a young family whose lives are turned upside down in an unexpected way. To better bond with their adopted Chinese daughter, the parents buy an android which later breaks. Their lives changed as if a sibling was lost. The movie is basically about loss and memory and how they affect each other. However, it also focuses on data privacy, transracial adoption, and cloning ethics. Despite the film's heavy themes, it has a mellow and almost serene tone. Number 9. A Love Song. The movie is played by Dale Dickey as Faye, a widowed loner. She lives in a small RV on a rocky mountain campsite where she baits crawfish, watches birds, listens to folk music on her analog radio, and gets mail from a horseback postman. Dickey's striking face appears in almost every scene of the film, but the day she spends with a long-lost childhood admirer who pays her a visit is the nucleus of a love song. Their friendship allows for a delicate, somewhat offbeat reflection on loss, companionship, and the passing of time. Number 8. Master. Director Mariama Diallo's powerful social horror film is set in an exclusive Massachusetts college built on land near where a Salem-era witch was hung from the gallows. Gail is the school's new dean of students, also known as a master, who sees terrifying images and ghosts. At the same time, freshman Jasmine is assigned to a famously haunted dorm room. In a film that employs genre tropes to discuss institutional racism and white supremacy, Black women encounter microaggressions, inequality, and other non-supernatural hurdles. Number 7. Sharp Stick. In this sex comedy movie, Sarah Jo is a naive 26-year-old caregiver who, after losing her virginity in a failed romance with an older guy, hatches a multi-part plan to try out every sexual encounter possible. While the film is slow to get going and the adulterous relationship is creepy, Dunham's film really finds a groove when Sarah Jo embraces her new mission inspired by an online porn star. Number 6. Happening. This movie is an unflinching story of a young lady wanting to have an abortion despite the procedure's restrictive legality in 1960s France. Anne, a focused and ambitious student who doesn't seem to care what others think of her, is played by Anna Maria Bartolome, whose energy fills the screen. When she learns she's pregnant, she's adamant about terminating the pregnancy even if it means death or prison. Happening is a challenging but frequently stunning movie since it focuses on the most painful parts of Anne's experience. Number 5. Fresh. With hints of American Psycho and Hannibal, director Mimi Cave tackles modern dating in this horror film. Noah has had it with meeting people on apps when she has a grocery store meet cute with handsome vegetarian Dr. Steve. When a romantic retreat turns into a fight for survival and the exposure of Steve's sinister business for a wealthy clientele with specific tastes, their relationship takes a terrible turn. You'll never look at a HelloFresh box the same way again, even if Fresh doesn't do enough with its darkly comic sense of humor and avoids gore. Number 4. Fire of Love. You might think that the subjects of Sarah Dose's stunning documentary, Maurice and Katia Kraft, have been beaming in from a Wes Anderson film halfway through. There's something adorable about these French volcanologists who are in love and tour the world venturing dangerously near molten lava. As charming as the introduction to these great eccentrics is, the perilous nature of their profession gradually creeps into the novel. By the end, this sweet love story evolves into a reflection on humanity's insignificance in the face of the Earth's tectonic plates. Number 3. Brian and Charles. Here's a movie more lighthearted about Brian and Charles, a story of a terrible inventor who manages to create a robot that becomes his closest buddy. The main story beats are pretty predictable. Charles has an insatiable desire to learn about and see the world, which eventually transcends beyond Brian's modest life and property. There's a love interest for Brian, a town bully who has a thing for Charles, and a developing rift between the creator and his invention that eventually works out. Number 2. Resurrection. Resurrection appears to be a typical thriller at first glance. A single mother is met by a mystery man from her past early on, which sends her into panic mode. She begins to get extremely paranoid. As her entire life is thrown into upheaval, she eventually keeps her daughter safe from real and imagined dangers. What would it be exactly? Did she have a shady past? You'll have to watch to find out. The plot twist in this film is bizarre, and the swift spiral into madness is difficult to ignore, besides the movie's ending, which is the stuff of nightmares. Number 1. Hatching. Expect to fall in love with Hannah Bergholm's debut movie Hatching, which stars a half-bird, half-human creature that pukes slime. Tinja, a young gymnast, discovers an egg outside the home where her mommy blogger's mother appears to be living the ideal pastel life in this creepy and fascinating Finnish fable. The child heats the egg inside her teddy bear until it hatches a creature named Allie. Allie, Tinja's pet and protector, is brought to life by an animatronic wizard until it changes into a mirror image of her.